Hello and welcome to the Grateful Podcast with Jack Wagoner. I'm your host, Jack Wagoner, and here we talk about how to build, create, share, and just find the gratefulness that's in your life and how to bring it to your everyday life to just feel happier, healthier, and better overall. When you're grateful for something, I truly believe that just increases the quality of your life and how you're feeling with yourself. So that is my mission with this podcast. All right, so welcome to the first episode of the Grateful Podcast. I'm so happy to just be here and starting this. It feels like it's been a long time in the making, and I honestly could not be more excited and and grateful, as ironic as that is, but it's true, for just starting this podcast, because I've been listening to podcasts for such a long time, and I believe that it's such a cool way to just learn and discover new information, really get to know a person too. It's when I listen to someone's podcast, I really feel like I understand how they think, and it really helps me gain new perspectives, and I just can't believe I'm actually doing this, so I'm excited. Thank you for being here. If you're listening to this, man, you're an OG, you're day one. Stick through it because I'm really excited. I think this. Oh my God, I can't talk. I said I think this can go far. It's early. I'm a little sleep deprived, but that's exactly the opposite of what I'm trying to teach here. It's okay. Sometimes, I'll just touch on this real quick before we get into this. Sometimes, when you're really trying to build something and you know it's going to be positive and have a positive impact on your life, you got to work hard. You got to put your head down, and some things take the hit. Right now, that was my sleep, and not ideal, but it's okay. So, as a first episode of this podcast, I'm just going to really try to go into what purpose gratefulness has in our lives. And I'll really use mine as an example. But before I get started, this is the first episode of my podcast. So let me just lay a little out about what I'm trying to do here. So over the past few months, I've started building a YouTube channel, which I titled love_your_one-ife. Looks like life, right? Love your life is taken. But you could probably just find under the name Jack Wagoner if you're interested. Go check it out if you want to. I'm pretty happy with what I've been putting there. But through that, I realized that I really love to just talk about what I love and what enlightens me and what makes me grateful. Just philosophical concepts, I guess, in general, without editing it out or anything. And I also have been really interested in the podcast format for a long time, as I think some of my greatest idols and the people I look up to and learn the most from have their own podcasts. Like I'm talking Jay Shetty, Andrew Huberman. I'd say those are definitely my top two. For a while, Chris Williamson. Yeah. Who's another guy? I want to feel. I mean, I realize that I mostly listen to guys, but for French, this is also because, man, this is going to be this podcast. I'm just going to be diving into stuff, kind of random, but we're going to have a goal. So, also, podcasts really help me learn a language. With French, I listen to many French podcasts, and that's how I helped, just constantly get the language in my brain. And I would love to make this podcast accessible for language learners at some point too. So it's another one of my big goals. But anyways, the goal of saying that is the podcast format's always been something that interests me a lot. And I feel like I would be really good at. and I would bring a unique perspective to the podcast world out there. There's so many podcasts out there that interview these famous people and all, and I just want to talk about like my life, like a teenager's life. I'm not a normal guy by any means. I don't know what normal is. I don't strive to be normal. I'm not trying to portray like this high mighty life. Like I'm trying to just talk about life in general that all humans go through. And I believe that gratefulness is such a root of all happiness and all our goals in life, whether your goal in life is just to bring value, just get through the day, or it's to be happy, whatever your goal is, gratefulness is at the root of it, I feel. Okay? That's my perspective, and that's what I'm going to be sharing here. I really can't wait to continue on this journey and bring more gratitude and love to the world around us. Thanks for being here, and I hope you enjoy the first episode of the Grateful Podcast with me, Jack Wagoner. Gratefulness is a superpower. Get that in your head, okay? No matter how cheesy it sounds to you, it's true. It's true. When you can look at something negative and just realize, oh, that's part of my life. So I'm going to say that I'm grateful for it because it brought me here right now. I want to be here right now. Everything led me to here right now. So in concept, if everything led me to here right now, here at 6:31 a.m., sleep deprived, recording my first ever episode of a podcast, everything ever led me to this moment right now. And I should be grateful for it all. Because in that way, when you think about it like that, it all worked out in some seamless, almost perfect sense. Right? And you might be thinking, oh, come on, Jack. Like, I have moments I've absolutely hated in my life. Valid. Right? Valid. But my goal in my life recently, I'd say it's been over a year now, where I've had a mindset like this, and my goal is to be grateful for every single moment. Every single moment. I don't care whether it sucked. Right? It's just a perspective. It led me to this. There's good that comes out of it. Every moment is necessary for the next. I saw a quote. I have no idea who it's by. So I apologize to whoever said this amazing quote. But you always get where you're going. Right? Think about that. It sounds so stupid. Like, yeah, obviously we always get where we're going. But no, you always get where you're going. You don't know where you're going. You always get there. And what leads you to where you're going is every single moment of your life. And we lose that perspective sometimes. If we're not grateful for everything in our life, something feels like it's missing to me. Right? Every morning I wake up, I just quickly think, what am I grateful for today? And honestly, it's like the same thing every day. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to but like I could choose anything. I could say I'm grateful to have a roof over my head. I'm grateful that I get to eat today. I'm grateful that I'm in France. there's so many levels of it. I could say my basics. I could say just like the absolute basics. Like I'm alive. I'm breathing. So I'm grateful for that. I have a body. I'm here right now. I'm grateful for that. Or I could go as far as like I'm grateful that I have inner mindset to be up right now before school, before a long school day. No, it's Wednesday. Oh, let's go. It's Wednesday. In France, Wednesdays are half days. Um, I'm grateful that I'm up right now recording a podcast and getting started on my dreams, right? I go for whatever. And I do the same thing before I go to bed at night. And being grateful like that, and okay, so I'm not a religious person, all right? Um, I don't know what I am. I'm not a religious person. I also don't want to call myself an atheist. I don't want to label myself because I don't know what's out there. All right? I have no clue. I'm open to it all. But I feel like when you're just grateful for everything and you thank just the universe, the world, that's almost like what I feel as a religion of sorts. I don't feel religious towards it, but I feel as if I'm just thankful and I dedicate stuff to my life as people will dedicate things to God, right? I'll dedicate things to my life. Be grateful for it. So that's where we're starting. Just be grateful for everything, no matter how hard it is. And I recognize that I'm from a place of huge privilege. I have the greatest family in the world. I've learned to surround myself with one of the greatest support groups in the entire world in my friends. Um, that allows me to be grateful for so much and have so many seemingly positive things. I say seemingly because what does positive and negative really mean? But they are positive, right? Like I have so many opportunities in my life at a young age, and I know that not everyone out there is lucky enough to have that. And that's why I'm starting this podcast because I've been given these opportunities. I've been given these things. I've been so gifted just by life to have so many amazing people around me, and I have to do something with that. I have to help the people that have not been gifted as I have, because what else would my purpose be? What else can I do? Right? I don't feel like there is anything. I have to help the people that have not been gifted so many opportunities like me. I have to help them find them. I have to help them create a life of gratefulness and happiness and purpose. Because honestly, that I believe that that's the key to whatever we're here to do as humans. It all roots with gratefulness. Oh, I just thought let that sink in for a second before I start another little rant. I like this format, but I think just bear with me because again, this is my first one, and I believe that I'll be getting better at this. I'll be getting better at this. I really would love to interview some people on this too. Um, I have the problem that right now I have people that I'm in France, so if I could interview French people, that would be cool. cool. Let's make this a bilingual podcast. Bonjour. I think that one thing I've been talking about a lot recently with myself is finding my purpose. And I guess my last little uh, ramble about how I've been gifted, and not everyone has, and want to help people. That kind of segued into this. So I think that purpose is the most powerful tool that we can have in life. For example, sorry, I'm just drinking some water. Thirsty. Look at someone like Martin Luther King. Okay? Everyone knows who he is, so I picked him. He had a purpose. He went through absolute hell. Okay? My dad just wrote a book on him, and he's been telling me a lot of stories about his life and how difficult it was, how the CIA tried to get him, or the FBI tried to get him to kill himself. I didn't read the book, so I really hope I'm not spitting out false information. So go look this up. I'll do it after. But the FBI tried to get him to kill himself. He had people throw bombs in his house. He had haters everywhere, hate mail. Like he was, what's the word we put on a microphone? Tapped? Is that it? But anyways, his life was made absolute hell. And not everyone wants that. But he was working towards a purpose. He felt a calling that gave every single part of his life a meaning. It gave it a goal of what he's trying to do. And I think when you feel that, everything falls into place. So then people get anxious, like, well, I don't feel that. How do I feel that? Man, I don't know. I think it just comes from here. Honestly, like what I talked about before, I think that's my part of my calling, but I don't know what it all is. Like I don't know the full. I'm just trying to take many steps every day, and sometimes big steps. Just trying to like get there and stay open along the way, so that when I have feedback that comes back to me from the world, I can hear it with an open mind, and I can adjust my course to find my purpose that way. I feel like we just gotta remember that we know. We know what we're trying to do. Inside us. Like, we all want that feeling. So we can all get that feeling. It's attainable. It's not, from my understanding, this is something that is available for all humans. And it really takes effort to search for it. I'm realizing that there's absolutely no shortcut for effort. We're in such a time of social media and life hack, you know? I understand, man. It's only so much time in a day. And do you really want to spend it like being putting yourself through misery and working as hard as you absolutely can? No, I never want to do that, really. So also, at the same time, it's exactly what I want to be doing. Because I know what it'll do to my life, where it will put me. And coming back to the name of this podcast, at the end of it, how grateful I will be for myself and what I've done. Delayed gratification is a funny concept because I think that, at least from what I've read in a lot of Buddhist books, it's like we're living right now. So we can't think about doing stuff that's only going to affect us later. But that's what we can't think about when we do this work is we can't think about it as trying to achieve an end goal. We have to think about it as this process is going to have a byproduct, amazing product. Did that make sense? I don't know if I worded that right. But we're doing this process, right? We're putting in the work. Or by putting in this work day after day after day, there's a chance that this consistency ends up as a byproduct of your dreams, you know? And it's not guaranteed. But I'll tell you, the chance is pretty good, I think. Because you know how many people I know that actually work as hard as they can every day consistently? I'll tell you, I'm not one of them. I want to be. I try to be. But for example, this morning, the alarm went off at 5 to run. I was up till 11:45 last night doing homework. And your boy hit the snooze. Or actually just clicked stop and fell back asleep until the 6 o'clock alarm. It's usually there to start working. See, you can't always be perfect. We all make mistakes. It's not easy to just wake up every day and put in the absolute work. And that's the thing, it's not easy. Why do you think there's only so many really, really successful people? Because it's hard to have what it takes. It's really hard to have what it takes to just do that and make your dreams come true. But after a day or a week or a month of working insanely hard, I'm always grateful. But here's the thing, and here's where the mentality I'm really trying to preach comes in. After a day where I didn't work hard, I'm also always grateful. Do you want to know why? Because I don't feel good after it. That means that I know what I need to do. I'm grateful because I know what I need to do. And honestly, that's amazing. If I know what I need to do, all I have to do is do it. All I have to do is do it. The action. That's what matters. And I can be grateful for the knowledge of what the action needs to be. You need to fail in order to have that knowledge. If you never fail, if you're always success after success after success, when you're not pushing yourself hard enough, push, okay? Push yourself hard. Because you need to find failure. What that failure does, it teaches you. And then you cannot be a sore loser, and you can be grateful for your failure, because that's where you realize that you learn the most about how you can get better at what you're doing and why you're doing it. That's when you start to win. And what are we winning? No idea. Life, I don't know. But I know that when you do that, you're a step ahead with everyone else. And I think it's in the right direction. Because why wouldn't it be? We don't know what a right direction or not is here on Earth. Like, we have no idea. There is no right and wrong action. Maybe there is, maybe there isn't. It's a philosophical debate forever. But what we do know is that it's just life's happening. We're mortal. So what do you want to do with that time? You have 24 hours every day. You should be sleeping 8 of them, okay? I need to take that advice. So many people do. Sometimes, as I said, things are sacrificed because you need to choose what you want to do with your time. It's going to make you the most grateful and the most happy for your life that you have in this moment. And if that means you need to be uncomfortable in this moment, then you're going to be uncomfortable in this moment, and you're going to love it, and you're going to be grateful for it because you know what it's bringing you and the value that it's bringing to your life. You have to be grateful for it all. You have to be grateful for when you're uncomfortable, for when you're winning, for when you're losing, for when you're surrounded by people you love or surrounded by people that bring you down. You have to be grateful for every moment in your life because it brought you to right now. And you have to be grateful for right now because it's bringing you to the future. Do you understand? This is the message that I'm going to try to bring on this podcast every single episode. Now, today it was a little short because first episode, just trying to get something out there and just trying to portray the message of this podcast and what I'm trying to get across, okay? But if you stuck it all the way to the end with my rambling and all that, man, kudos to you. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Cheers. I really just want to spread gratefulness, and I believe that, or I know that I'm just happy in my life. And I think if other people think like and feel like me, they'll be really happy too. And overall, the world would just be more kind. So I'm trying to help people learn how I learned to think like this. If we're just all grateful for everything, man, imagine the world. That's my goal, man. That's my goal. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I love you, listeners. And I will see you next Monday for episode 2 of the Grateful Podcast. I'm so excited. I'm starting this and I cannot wait to see where it goes. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I hope that you enjoyed listening to this episode of the Grateful Podcast with Jack Wagoner. If you like the podcast and would like to support its growth, please consider subscribing to the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also check out my YouTube channel under my name and see all of the positive content that I've put out there. Thank you so much, and I hope to get to see you next week. Love you all. Bye.